We need a national plan for contact tracing. And it's right now each individual province is doing it, but we need a national plan. Work with the federal government and all 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 the provinces, the 10 provinces and the 3 territories. It's absolutely critical moving forward for many reasons, especially not to mention research as well.
Premier Doug Ford is doing a pretty darn good job. Contact tracing is extremely important to fight the infection. We got to know who have these people talked to, who have these people been close to, how are we going to contact those people and say, yeah, maybe you should get tested. Maybe you should also get an immunity test because maybe you had it and maybe it's gone. We can learn more about the disease, and it's also extremely important to point out that it's job creation. Job creation is so important moving forward. A lot of the stress at home right now is moving all the way into like September and October. Will I have a job then? Will things be so fundamentally different moving forward that there's going to be a huge unemployment rate? And people are darn worried about that. So some job creation from governments is incredibly important, especially some job creation that's going to help us fight the virus, which is ultimately the thing that is really, really hurting the economy. People need confidence to go back out there and be consumers. Now, I just want to say one little thing. Governments, here's something to consider, whether you're the federal government or provincial government or government anywhere. How about a massive jobs program of part-time jobs? Part-time jobs. Now, I know some people in the labor movement are like, we need full-time jobs. No, we need actually a lot of part-time jobs because those are going to match up with the kinds of jobs that are going to start creeping into the private sector. The private sector is going to be under a lot of problems right now. Let's think about restaurants. Restaurants have a lot of part-time workers. All those essential businesses we're talking about, the big grocery store chains and all of those big box stores, a lot of part-time employees. Uber, I don't even want to say it out loud. I hate Uber, but it also is taxi drivers, limo drivers, all the people that are going to start creeping back into the workforce. They're not going to go boom up to full time anymore. It's going to be part-time and casual. Me, I work mostly casual. I work mostly self-employed and that kinds of thing. It's going to creep its way up. I don't think I'm ever going to get back to full time for probably a long time. So governments, how about hiring a lot of part-time workforce? It's going to be music to the ears of the unemployed that we are employing as many as we can. Rather than employing 5 people, you get to employ 10 people. Now, those 10 people don't quite have enough, but there are other things in the gig economy and the part-time economy that can start building its way back up to a level that is sustainable for all of us. And this has always been a criticism of mine of the public sector. The public sector has not matched itself up with the private sector. The private sector definitely wants to go in the part-time and the casual and the gig economy direction, and maybe our public sector needs to match up with that a little bit. Go to your workforce and say, hey, does everyone actually want to work here full time the whole time? Maybe some will put up their hand and go, wow, I didn't know that I had the option to work 25 hours a week. And here's something also to consider. This is not going to go away anytime soon. Some of the people who are at risk, who might have diabetes or high blood pressure and they're 64 years old, maybe it's the time to say, hey, how about some early retirement? When your emergency funds run out, how about some early retirement so you can free up a job for someone young? And then you get to retire and you get to stay safe for a while because it is pretty risky if you have high blood pressure or diabetes or whatever else you have. And you are getting a little bit older, just trying to be honest here. But let's go back to the original impetus for this video. Doug Ford, you're doing a pretty darn good job. Let's get some contact tracing going. We need a massive jobs program of hopefully part-time jobs in the public sector because the private sector is going to be a slow bringing back A bunch of part-time and gig jobs. Let's get this thing going. Thanks for watching. I'm just some guy on the internet. If you're just someone at home watching me, please click subscribe and bye-bye.
Thank you. And for follow-up, some provinces are creating family bubbles where they can merge together and, go see a grandparent, for example. Would that be a next step in Ontario?
If the numbers continue going down, let's just see. I just don't want to answer right now this early. Maybe if you ask me this next week, we'll see some even better results.